members, today we are back in our biology, and today our emphasis is going to be on what we are calling practical biology, and I'm going to consider what we are calling physiology. Physiology, mainly, you can look at what we call food tests, you can look at processes like diffusion, osmosis, but today my idea is going to be at what we are calling food tests. Food tests, there are some components of food which we need to discover, but by investigating them or discovering them practically. So, there are some specific reagents which we use when we are carrying out food tests. And some of the reagents, I'm going to show you those reagents as we are beginning. One of the reagents which we are using when we are carrying out food test is what we are calling iodine. When you look at our iodine we can say it is brown in color, or we can say it is yellow. So it depends on the concentration. Now when you look at ours, it is brown in color. We are going to see that this one we are using it when we are testing the presence of starch. Presence or absence of starch. Then another reagent which we always look at or we use when we are carrying out food tests, we have a reagent known as Benedict. This is Benedict's solution. When you look at it, it is blue in color. So when you look at our Benedict, this one is mainly used when we are testing for the presence of sugars. But specifically, we can use Benedict when we are carrying out reducing sugar test as well as non-reducing sugar test. This one we are going to see. We are going to see it as we are moving ahead. Another reagent which is crucial, most of you enjoy vitamins. So one of the vitamins which is important in our body is vitamin C, like in oranges and the pineapples. So we have what we call DCPIP. You can see that this one is a deep blue. When you compare this blue and this blue, when you compare the blue, this one of Benedict, and the blue of DCPIP, you will discover this is deep blue, and this one, it is just pale blue. You can see that blue is pale. Then another reagent which is very, very important is what we are calling copper 2 sulfate. Copper 2 sulfate here is important. It is also light blue, as you are seeing. Somehow resemble the other one of Benedict, but this one light blue. So this one we are going to use it in combination with another reagent which is vital, and this reagent we are calling it sodium Sodium hydroxide. So you can see our sodium hydroxide is working together with the copper 2 sulfate. Now these two reagents, we are going to use them when we are carrying out what we call protein test. And now these ones are going to give us what we are calling the Bioretiz test. Now this one, vitamin C test, DCPIP. Then this one is starch test. So this one, it is for starch. That one we are calling starch test or iodine test. Then we have this one here, Benedict. As you can see, our Benedict. This Benedict we are saying is for reducing sugars as well as non-reducing sugars. But we are going to see how we treat it when we are investigating reducing sugars as well as non-reducing sugars. So with this one we are going to use it like in Benedict's test or reducing sugar test or non-reducing sugar test. Now from there we have another reagent which is vital. It is appearing colorless. This one, hydrochloric acid or HCl. This one we are going to use it when we are carrying out non-reducing sugar test. Don't forget that. This one is very, very important because it's going to help us to do what we call hydrolysis or breakdown of non-reducing sugar, as we are going to see as we are moving ahead. Grasping properly the reagents and their colors. You have to master the reagents and their colors. Finally, I'm saying DCPIP, deep blue, vitamin C. Then iodine, brown, or you can even say yellow, that one, starch. Then copper 2 sulfate, pale blue, that is proteins. But remember we have said in a combination with sodium hydroxide. Benedict, sugars, specifically reducing and non-reducing sugars. HCl, we shall see it in non-reducing sugars. Take note of those colors. Again. So members, let us try to call out reducing sugar test. Reducing sugar test, we are going to give, for example, this specimen here. You know, this specimen is known as sugarcane. is having some sugars which you want to do what? To investigate. Now the juice which I'm going to use is the juice which I got from this specimen here. Now when we are carrying out Benedictine test or reducing sugar test, you always measure 1 cubic centimeter of the solution which you are going to test. Then we add there 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine's what? Solution. Then we boil. Take a note there, the volumes must be equal. If you measure 2 cubic centimeters of the solution, take an example. This is my solution which I have got. Now my solution here, I'm going to measure 1 cubic centimeter of this solution. Then I transfer in a test tube. Afterwards, I measure 1 cubic centimeter. So now I'm going to measure my 1 cubic centimeter there. But you can even measure 3. You can even measure 4. It depends on what you want. So let me reduce a bit. And then reducing now, I get my 1 cubic centimeter of the solution. After getting my 1 cubic centimeter of the solution, now I'm going to measure 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine's what? Benedictine's solution. This is my Benedictine's solution. Then we take measurement. You can even use a dropper to measure 1, like that. If you know how to use a dropper, you can measure. Then I transfer here. Remember here, the volume should be equal volume. 1 cubic centimeter of the tested solution, add 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine. Then you do what? You boil. Then you observe what happens. Members, as we are moving to the fireplace here, members, you have to be observant. There we go, our fireplace. Try to note what is happening in our solution. So now you can see now we are trying to boil our solution. Now as we are boiling, you can see now color change which is occurring there already. Green. Then we are going to, you can try to look, be critical there. Our green. Then let us try to examine it properly. You can see that from our fireplace, on top there, we have some green now coming, but starting to turn slowly to what? To yellow. You can see some bit of what? Yellow and green on what? On top. So there we can note green and then we note what? Yellow. Then I take back my fire again. You can clearly see, members, my green. You can clearly see my green and my yellow. I'm talking what? About. You can clearly see our color changes. Now let us try to go and we continue boiling. Here you have to be critical. We started with green. Then try to be critical enough. There we see now orange coming. You can see our orange coming now. That is our orange. Then you do some bit of shaking to increase the reaction. Now you can see the resultant. And it's our resultant solution now. That is purely orange. Pure orange, but some of you can even say brown, but orange will be the best. When you look at the first one, green, yellow was the solution. Then when you examine our colors, our color changes, and at the start, green was a solution, green solution. Then it turned to a yellow solution. Then finally we are seeing it turning to an orange what? Precipitate. So we are forming an orange precipitate if you are observant there. Now, from there, we can now say that if reducing sugars are present, the colors are going to change from green solution, yellow solution, and finally to an orange precipitate. Reducing sugars are present. Now, members, here we can say that reducing sugar test, let us first take note of the procedure. You always say 1 cubic centimeter of the solution, add 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine's what? Solution. Now, our observation is going to be a blue solution, this solution, blue solution. Remember previously it was blue, turns to a green solution, then to a yellow solution, and finally to an orange precipitate. Now, after seeing all those colors, there we can write our conclusion, our deduction, that reducing sugars are what? Are present. That is if we have used the indicative solution, or we have used reducing what? Reducing sugars. Now we are going to finally talk about the non-reducing sugar test. The best source of non-reducing sugars is this one which you always enjoy in your tea, the normal sugar which you always put in the tea. However, you can also get from the same source here. This source also can be with it, as it is having the other reducing sugar we have talked about. Now this one, I'm going to put little here. I'm going to put little in our water here. And I put little, then I'm going to mix up. Let me mix up. Let me try to. Now I'll put my sugar here, which I always enjoy in the tea. Then I'm mixing up to get my solution. And when I get my solution here, the solution which I'm going to use when I'm carrying out non-reducing sugar test. So from there, I know some sugar is already dissolved. Now I'm going to label it D. Then that D is a D which I'm going to use for carrying out my non-reducing sugar test. However, what are we going to use in this test? We need a Benedict. Then we need HCl. Then we need sodium hydroxide. Then we may need water for cooling. Don't forget that. Now, procedure of this test is going to be that we are going to measure 1 cubic centimeter of our test solution. After measuring it, we are going to put there 1 cubic centimeter of HCl. Then after putting 1 cubic centimeter of HCl, we shall go to the fireplace and then we heat. Then after heating, we shall cool using our water here. After cooling properly the solution, we shall add 1 cubic centimeter of sodium hydroxide. Now the role of this HCl in this test, we are going to see its role is going to be breaking down the non-reducing sugar into a reducing what? Sugar. What we are calling in biology hydrolysis. It breaks the sugar non-reducing to reducing sugar. Now the role of the sodium hydroxide in this test, it is to neutralize the HCl which is remaining in the test tube. So take a note of that. Then of course Benedict, as we carried out for reducing sugar test, is one which is going to show us color changes. So let us begin, guys. I get my test tube. I get my test tube. Then I also get my measuring what? My measuring cylinder. Then my measuring cylinder, I'm going to measure 1 cubic centimeter of my solution. So I'm try to measure 1 cubic centimeter of my solution. There we go. You can reduce a bit. Let me reduce a bit there. There we go. Then I transfer it into my test tube like that. After putting it there, what next? We said we get 1 cubic centimeter of HCl. This is my HCl. Then I'm going to measure using a dropper. Remember, even this one is having figures which you can use. Then I get my HCl there, 1 cubic centimeter. So there we go. I transfer into my test solution. Then we go to the fireplace. Then we are going to boil a bit. Boiling doesn't mean that you are going to heat the solution until when almost the test tube dries. So once we see bubbles beginning raising upwards, that one can be enough. To increase now the rate at which the particles are boiling, we can shake a bit, but mind about your flame. Don't burn your flame and slant a bit. It is better even to use upper flame. Now, there we are boiling now. We are boiling there. We are saying you can even shake a bit. Then what are we doing? We are making HCl to break down the non-reducing sugar into reducing sugars. Instead of cooling, we want to know a bit temperature. The instance of HCl was to hydrolyze, break down. So try to take care as you are doing the work to avoid breaking the glasswares, then to avoid wetting your working place. Then from there now, our thing is now, our solution is now cold. What are we going to do? We are going to add there 1 cubic centimeter of sodium hydroxide. I get my sodium hydroxide here, which I'm going to add. This one I can measure using a dropper. Then I add my 1 cubic centimeter of sodium hydroxide. After doing that, then I'm going to add 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine solution. Don't forget that. I add 1 cubic centimeter of Benedictine solution. Benedictine what? Solution. We add it there. After adding it there, then we are going to move back to the fireplace. There we go, to our fireplace. Try to note what is happening. Now solution. So now you can see now we are trying to boil our solution. Now as we are boiling, you can see now color change which is occurring there already. Green. Then we are going to, you can try to be critical there. Be critical there, our green. Then let us try to examine it properly. You can see that from our fireplace, on top there, we have some green now coming, but starting to turn slowly to what? To yellow. You can see some bit of what? Yellow and green on what? On top. So there we can note green, and then we note what? Yellow. Then I take back my fire again. You can clearly see, members, my green. You can clearly see my green and my yellow. I'm talking what? About. You can clearly see our color changes. Now let us try to go and we continue boiling. Here you have to be critical. We started with green. Then try to be critical enough. There we see now orange coming. You can see our orange coming now. That is our orange. Then we do some bit of shaking to increase the reaction. Now you can see the resultant, and it's our resultant solution now. That is purely orange. Pure orange, but some of you can even say brown, but orange will be the best. When you examine our colors, our color changes, and at the start, green was a solution, green solution, then it turned to a yellow solution, then finally we are seeing it turning to an orange what? Precipitate. So we are forming an orange precipitate if you are observant there. Now, from there, now members, we are wrapping up our observation. At the start, our solution was like that. So we can say a blue solution turns, we have seen there, turns to a green solution, yellow solution, then finally to an orange what? An orange what? Precipitate. That will be now our observation. Blue solution turns to a green solution, yellow solution, then orange what? Orange precipitate. And our conclusion is going to be non-reducing sugars hydrolyzed to reducing what? Sugars. That will be our conclusion. Non-reducing sugars have been hydrolyzed to reducing what? Sugars. And now it means in our sugar here, which we are taking daily, this sugar, we are having what we call non-reducing what? Sugar. Who hydrolyzed was HCl here. Who neutralized the acid which was there is this one. Who gave us the colors? It was a Benedict. Now, don't forget this. Benedict is for reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Then, copper 2 sulfate and sodium hydroxide, that is for proteins, by Retti's test. Iodine, it is for starch. This PIP is for vitamin what? Vitamin C.